Spoilers for My Hero Academia all over this video. If you haven't read the manga, don't watch it just yet. I'm talking about everything that needs to be talked about for this battle, so there's that. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and it is once again that time. We have come upon a time of war. The truth of the Ten Commandments, Galand the Great, has been sent out to claim a new creation. The worldwide broadcast has been sent out. A code red has been issued across the entire world. This threat has issued a revival of multiple threats for the sake of the survival of humanity. All for One, Overhaul, and Redestro have been restored to their primes through the advent of a mastered rewind from Eri. From the ashes, she restores the body of Nine and restores his life, while Katsumo sacrifices his cell activation quirk to ensure Nine's longevity. Eri proceeds to restore All Might to his prime, then lock onto Midoriya's back after he activates Infinite 100% One for All. Midoriya lends Bakugo One for All, reactivating his enhanced state. And finally, Shigaraki has awoken to his full potential, commanding all the Nomu to ever exist, and then leading the brigade that guides the rest of the world against the cataclysmic monster that has been leveling cities in search of a challenge, Galand. The stage is set. Galand versus My Hero Academia. This battle is extremely interesting as it matches Galand's purpose in a sense. Galand is one of the Ten Commandments, one of the demons gifted the power of the Demon King in order to ensure order across the vast and chaotic demon world. However, he is also a soldier in a great war to conquer the world of Seven Deadly Sins for the prosperity of the demon race, so it's likely that he would be more than willing to scour other creations and dominate them as well. Meanwhile, I did want all of My Hero Academia to fight the cataclysm that is the truth of the Ten Commandments, so I'm bending a lot of rules here to have them all exist at the same time. However, enough context for the battle, let's get into the statistics for both sides. Galand is extremely powerful. Lower end levels lock Galand around country levels due to scaling above characters like Gila and Red Demons via fighting and dominating Berserk Melios with Lost Vein. Both Red Demons and Gila have their own country level feats, and reasonably Galand should be much stronger than both of them. However, we're lowballing him heavily, so let's lock him at country level. For more mid-ends for Galand, it would come around to Multi-Continental, due to his bisection of Tarmiel, the Archangel whose dimensional ocean has been estimated to around Multi-Continental on the mid-end. However, on top of that, if pushed to the limit, Galand's high end would be around Planetary, the large Planetary based on his Tarmiel feat, if we take the highest end calculations for Tarmiel's ocean creation. Now, My Hero Academia would peak around country level on the high end as a whole for its highest tiers. Most of this comes from All Might and Nine. All Might via upscaling from his mountain level cloud dispersing feat, and then stacking on the idea that All Might in his prime state, one of his punches would equal 60 of his modern punches, which are around mountain level. And then you push that to the ultimate degree by just saying, you know what, multiply that by around 60 times, and there you go, you should be good to go off there. Then through Nine's own mountain level to island level storm creation feat, and the idea that full Cal, Midoriya, and Bakugo at 100% were able to punch it away with sheer air pressure alone, not even contact, we're going to push it all the way to country level. We're being really generous for My Hero Academia, because honestly, it's going to need all the help it can get. Now, for the people who scale to this, that would be Midoriya, Bakugo, both at 100% One for All, Prime All Might, Prime All for One, a completed plus Ultra Shigaraki, and possibly Nine. The normal place the verse would be at is around mountain to island level, depending on how you'd want to calc the feats that come with the storm creations in both cases, but that's really it. The rest of the verse isn't really that strong, falling back way behind a lot of the top tiers. For speed, Galand is really speedy. It ranges though. He could either be really fast, or really fast. Depends on who you want to scale him from. You want to upscale him from Diane, he's still extremely fast, being around 3,200 times faster than light, thanks to him being able to blitz up Berserk Melios with Lost Vein, who's around 20 times stronger than base Melios with Lost Vein, who's faster than Demon Mark Hendrickson, who's twice as strong as base Hendrickson, who is superior to Link Helbram, who is superior to Berserk Dragon Handle Meliodas, who is superior to base Dragon Handle Meliodas, who is relative to miniature Diane, who performs a feat that puts her around 4 times the speed of light. You want to get crazier? Well, you have Oslo, someone who's weaker than beginning of series Sins by a long shot, and he managed to perform this feat, which has been calced around 33 times the speed of light. Now, what does this mean? Well, let's be nice and say that Oslo scales relative to early series Sins. He doesn't, but we're helping My Hero Academia out here by not going to the highest of ends. If that were the case, well, then take the same sequence of scaling that I mentioned, and you get 26,400 times the speed of light. One is worse than the other, and I bet you can tell which. My Hero Academia is fast, but not to the same degree. To be generous, let's estimate that the 5% Midoriya should be able to dodge Aoyama's light-based lasers, and thus that puts him at relativistic. We're going to say this just 50% the speed of light. Not calculating that, we're just going to be nice and generous. Then he should be at least 20 times faster at 100%. let's say that the events play out in such a way that he gets to 10 times the speed of light when at 100%. And then let's say that matches a prime modern All Might rather than a prime past All Might, and then apply the 60 times multiplier for All Might's prime state. That puts the highest tiers at around 600 times the speed of light. Also, really fast. For their respective hacks, we'll address Galand first. Galand is rather simple, just having demonic biology. This means he can manipulate darkness for the purposes of flight, weapons, shields, and also healing that requires molecularization to overcome. He can also draw out and consume souls with a touch or from a distance like other demons. He can exert his presence in order to intimidate or overwhelm his enemy's intimidation, along with having access to critical over, where he pushes himself to the limits for a massive stat boost. Then he has Truth, his commandment, which turns all who lie before him to stone. Then he wields his halberd in battle, and that's about it for the old demon. While I could sit here and address every single quirk to ever quirk in My Hero Academia, I'm not going to. I'm just going to address the major ones. Overhaul, which allows Overhaul to deconstruct and reconstruct things, and he can stop at the deconstruct phase if he desires, and only needs to graze his opponent with his fingers to activate the quirk. He's also able to heal others with his quirk, restoring them to a prime state of being. There's Decay, where all Shigaraki must do is touch something with all 5 of his fingers, it erodes everything and turns it to dust. In the manga, when at its peak, his decay spreads out to all objects touching the original source, destroying them as well. There's Nine's quirk, which allows him to summon natural devastation such as tornadoes and thunderstorms, and Eri has Rewind, which allows her to wipe things from existence by rewinding them through previous states to their point of non-existence. There are multiple beings who can wield electricity to large scales. Nine can create barriers. Pretty much all the no moves and plus Ultra Shigaraki have access to high level regeneration. Pixie Bob can manipulate the earth, and Cementos can manipulate cement, and then you have explosions for Bakugo, Hellflame for Endeavor, half hot, half cold for Todoroki, and there are the main ones. Now, what's the verdict? Who's likely to steal the win? Galand. It's Galand. Even against an entire verse, his power at a low end matches the high ends for the top tiers of My Hero Academia, and even his lowball speed. I specifically didn't mention the fact that he blitzed Tarmiel, who's even faster than the speeds I've mentioned so far, drastically outdoes anything the verse can muster. And the main issue for the My Hero Academia verse is Galand's personality. Since he has no real regard for life, but he has extreme keen instinct knowing when to defend himself when toying around, it's unlikely that there are many openings for him to be attacked in a way that could actually do anything. And even if they land a hit, if both sides are around their mid ends, it's not doing much. Galand at a low end, with My Hero Academia at a mid end though, that hit is going to do some damage. However, Galand can usually just heal it off if it's just a physical hit, and that's really it. A lot of the no moves and Shigaraki with their extreme regeneration, it can be overcome. It has limits. You can still kill them. It's just the fact that it's really strong at first, but Galand can definitely just keep up the onslaught on them and they'll eventually die. However, the interesting thing to address here is that this is not an instant lose scenario. Now the thing is, this is an entire verse we're talking about, and this is an entire verse that Galand would have absolutely no knowledge of. So while Galand going and swinging and slaughtering them all, which is very likely since he did that in Camelot without any disregard, he literally just leveled the entire kingdom because he felt like it, the thing I could see happening is Shigaraki just sacrificing all of humanity and just touching the ground and hoping Galand doesn't jump. Because if Galand doesn't jump, he's going to be reduced to dust. Will his regeneration save him? I doubt that. I don't think the disintegration down to dust is something that the demon regeneration can undo, and I think that may count as molecularization, but who knows? It could be overcome by the demon's healing. I doubt it though, and that's really the thing. A lot of things could happen, because say that every single character leaps at Galand. While Galand could very easily dodge them all, if one of them grazes him by accident, and by one I mean Overhaul, then Galand's exploding. Now, once again, the question of the regeneration comes in, but I'm being generous. Let's say it doesn't happen. So there are win conditions for My Hero Academia as a verse. I don't think any of the powerhouses are going to be able to do anything against Galand, because their main function in being a powerhouse is pretty much useless. So that means I don't think Endeavor is going to be able to do anything. I don't think Todoroki is going to be able to do anything. I don't think Bakugo is going to be able to do anything. I don't think Midori is going to be able to do anything. I don't think All Might or All for One are going to be able to do anything, because they're mainly physical, upfront, I hit you really hard and hopefully you go down kind of fighters. And that's not going to work against Galand just because he's that much stronger than them. And that's the thing. They're going to have to rely on maybe not teamwork, because these people don't often work together. However, they're going to have to rely on something akin to sacrificial offerings to Galand, in the way that they can get in and do the damage. Because I'm being serious. If Overhaul gets in and grazes Galand as fast as Galand is, he may just let something graze him because, you know, he doesn't know the effects. He's never been here before. He doesn't know all the things about the world. So if he gets touched by Overhaul, that could be a GG. If Shigaraki touches the ground and the decay just pulls a mass spreading across the entire earth and then touches Galand while he's not paying attention because he's in the middle of killing a whole bunch of people, then Galand loses. Sure, a lot of people are gonna die, but it's still a win condition. So I'd say thanks to Overhaul's presence, thanks to Shigaraki's presence, and maybe even thanks to Aries' presence, I think there's still possibilities for Galand to lose. It's just very, very, very unlikely. Mainly because Galand has had awkward senses about things before. He could tell that Merlin was about to teleport him. How? He just felt it. He had the intuition to be like, this is teleportation magic? I'm going to leap out of the general area and come back. So that's the main issue with Shigaraki touching the ground. If Galand's paying attention and he sees up, so that guy's touching the ground. Everything's getting destroyed on the way over here. Maybe I shouldn't stay in this general area. And he just pulls what he did against Merlin and just leaps out of the range, which he could very easily do. It's not a trick that's going to work again, and that's the thing. But it's highly likely that these tricks could likely work because of how many people are going to be there. Because you think about it, you got all of Class 1A, all of Class 1B, the big three. You have all these different characters that are going to be attacking Galand, and sure, while it would be an even worse version of what happened at Camelot, it would still be a good distraction for any of the actual dangerous Hacks characters to come in and be like, I'm gonna snatch that real quick. However, I have to be honest with you guys, most of the time, logically, like, if we give each win condition a point, I'd say Galand wins 7 times out of 10, and that's being generous in saying that Shigaraki's a win condition, Overhaul's a win condition, and Aries is a win condition. And the thing is, even if these characters win, it's going to come with a lot of sacrifice because Galand's going to have to be very, very distracted. And Galand's also going to have to be a slight bit out of character where he's not instantly just slaughtering them all and swinging his weapon about and instantly killing them all. But, I don't know. That's just me. If you think My Hero Academia can pull out a win in another way, please tell me. I don't know. The verse is strong, but it's not Galand strong. And be happy, because I was going to use Wild for this battle at first, and I may still do that in the future. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, my 7 Deadly Sins fans out there, you also know that Wild would bolo this verse even easier than Galand would. But that's neither here nor there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.